The game of life. The game of life is something that we all are playing, but I want to share with you exactly how to play it and the things you need to focus on in order to win. You see, the game of life is not about beating other players. It's not about a time frame. It is about coming into realization as to who you are and what you're here to do. Now, understand, like any game, there are rules to the game, and there are rules made to make things very interesting, but also to make things really fair. Many of us think that the game of life is really unfair, and that's because they're playing the wrong game. They're playing a different game, or they really don't know what the true game of life is really about. And so I'm here to make things clear. When I'm talking about the game of life, I'm talking about a spiritual game, a game that isn't based on materialistic things, the body, anything physical, but in fact, things that are metaphysical, the spiritual aspects of who we are, our consciousness, and how to come into realization as to who we are, what our consciousness is capable of doing, and then actually doing those things. So the game of life is not about accumulating wealth, fame, and power, even though that may be sub-objectives or things that you want to achieve eventually over the course of you playing the game. But the main objective of the game has nothing to do with any of those things. As you continue to play the game and come into this realization as to who you are, understanding your character, understanding your consciousness, understanding your purpose, the objective is really to avoid all of the distractions that keep you from obtaining that single mission of self-realization. Many people are not aware of how to play this game and how to actually win the game. They are only focused on the distractions. They think the distractions is what is going to create happiness and fulfillment. And that's ultimately, at the end of all games, we are chasing. When we play a game, we're playing it for two things. We're playing it for enjoyment, and we're playing it for the fulfillment at the very end of the game. These distractions come in various shapes and sizes and forms. Many of them are really obvious, like societal distractions or even peer pressure. And then you have the distractions that are going on internally, where you're battling your subconscious and things that were taught to you on how to win this game of life by people who are ultimately really bad players at it, right? Most likely. Be aware of the things that are pulling you away from discovering self. And here are three simple rules on how you can win this game. Remember, the game is about self-discovery, self-realization. So keep your focus within and expanding yourself and your consciousness out, opening yourself to the realization as to who you are. Rule 1, look within, okay? Focus within. Again, the challenges of the game, the things that are going to prevent you from winning the game are the distractions within the game. As you play this game, as you live your life, realize that it is looking within that is going to allow you to create the toolkit, to create the ability, the skills to actually achieve the goal of the game. You have to look within. The second thing you want to do, as you look within and discover who you are, you want to come into acceptance of who you are. You want to come into an acceptance and love of you, because that is part of the game. When you come into acceptance and of love of who you are, and this isn't about saying, well, okay, this is who I am. I don't like who I am, but I'm going to just be okay with it. This is about understanding and loving the core of who you are, your personality, your true self. Who are you? And only you can know that. No one else can know that but you. Those are parts of how you grow. And I mean all aspects of yourself, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Even though there are parts of yourself you wish to change, get better at, it is important that you don't judge those parts. You don't shame yourself for having those things. You embrace all of you, and then you allow yourself to realize, okay, you can evolve. You can get past those things, because all those things, even the bad, the habits, the patterns that you notice, those are also distractions, but those are distractions that are internal that you can absolutely learn to evolve through, heal from, and grow. And finally, the last thing and the most important thing is to have fun. Relax, have fun in your journey, all right? Do the things that you enjoy along the game. The game has a primary objective at the end of it all, right? Understand who you are, come into realization as to who you are. But as you are playing this game, as you are taking this journey, it's important that you enjoy yourself, that you have fun, that maybe you play with others, that maybe you take detours along the way. But whatever it is, as you go along the process of the game, it's important not to take yourself too seriously, play the game in a way that's so intense that you want to throw your joystick, you want to beat up the game, you want to curse and fight, you want to punch a wall. That's not how you play a game, and that's not how you win. It is really about allowing yourself to be you and enjoying who you are, because there is only one you. Though you may be comparing yourself to other players of this game, and you may be looking at them, well, like they have achieved the objective. You don't know that because you are not them. You are not within their minds. We all have things that we need to achieve along this journey. Yours is unique to you. Focus on your journey. Focus on what makes you happy, your passion, and then allow yourself to explore yourself as you go through and exchange with others, as you exchange with the universe. But make sure your objective is self-discovery and self-realization, realizing who you are. Once you realize who you are, then the game becomes easy and ultimately you continue to win. Remember, even playing the game, you already won because you're here. But as you continue to realize who you are, the game becomes more about creating the game, right? So now you're part of the game. This game is made for you to come into realization. And then once you are in that space of realization and discovery of who you are, then at that point you level up, and then you can actually change the game. You can actually create the game as you wish, and you can actually change your own rules. You can actually materialize things and create different games within the game. So this game is really dynamic and really complex, but it's really simple. Just make sure you focus on yourself and your self-discovery and realizing who you are. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.